to receive lectures, sensitization briefing on why we should build the youth of Akwa Ibom State. The reason why we are here is that the head, the captain of Akwa Ibom State, Deacon Honourable Emmanuel, says, let there be peace in Akwa Ibom. He says, let the youth embrace peace. He says, let us shun cultism and violence. It shall never lead us to anywhere. And I want to say this couldn't have been possible. This workshop couldn't have been possible without the support of His Excellency Deacon Honourable Emmanuel, the action. I want to also thank my direct boss for giving me the opportunity to chair this great committee, Youth, Security and Sports. I'm talking of Right Honourable Luke, that it was a great challenge for him to give me the opportunity to serve as the chairman of this committee. I want to say thanks be unto him. And all my colleagues, the leader of the House, the chief whip of the House, the member representing my back here present, and all my colleagues that are not here that they are on their way, I want to say greater thanks to you all, because without your contribution, I wouldn't have been the chairman of this great committee.
I feel highly honored and privileged for this opportunity to address you on a topic so critically important and dear to me, a subject of national discourse and international concern that I am very passionate about. Incidentally, in the last couple of months, some speeches and papers I have presented in different forums have dwelt directly or indirectly on matters of youth and leadership. For instance, the last one just a week ago had to do with the role of youth and leadership in the 21st century. The increased discourse on the subject of youth and leadership shows just how much organizations and wider societies are concerned about matters pertaining to youth and their meaningful existence. Permit me here to say that I appreciate the Committee on Youth, Sport and Security for this initiative to be able to talk to our youth, engage our youth on this critical topic. And I want to say here that let me reiterate and restate our commitment. Our commitment in the Sixth Assembly is to be pro-youth and youth-friendly. And why do we do this? I recognize one fact, and you too recognize it, that with the grace of God Almighty, God has to use you as my contemporaries to be able to make me to come to this level. And I'm very conscious of what I do here, because this is the very first time in the history of our state that the youth have been given such a bigger responsibility as a number 3 citizen. So what I do with that office will determine whether you are going to have the next opportunity or not. That's why I'm very conscious of the steps and the efforts I take, even sometimes at personal inconveniences, because I know that I carry, not only do I carry, a whole lot of us that populate, young people that populate the State House of Assembly today, we carry a generational burden, either to make or market. The decision we take today will determine His Excellency the Deputy Governor and their generation will say yes. When we gave the Speaker the youth of the state, they were able to manage it quite well, so they can be given further opportunity in the past. And if we do otherwise, they will say no, we gave them the opportunity, they have failed, so we cannot give them further opportunity. That is why every gathering like this is quite appreciated, because we share experiences. We share with you the experiences that we have had here in this side, having climbed up to this level. And then you equally share the experiences that we are facing daily in whatsoever you are doing. That's why I am happy to have seen your faces, and I want to say that seated here are men and women that we started the youth caucus with under His Excellency and the Governor of Youth Time, until it crystallized under His Excellency Senator Dr. Gosulobolo Akwa, and it has continued under the government of His Excellency Honourable Emmanuel. People that we have had in the days of the fight for resource control, that we have had to go to the Supreme Court, mobilizing the youth to be able to go and ask for the Supreme Court to give us a judgment. People that we have asked to go, we've had to go together on rallies asking for our dues. And I see still those faces today. And my prayer is that same God who has done for us. And I thank God today, seated here as the chief whip, is a man who served as the chairman of the youth of the immediate past chairman of the youth. So we will be making our progress in the next 1 or 2 years. That means that the position we left behind will be filled by you. And the position that you are going to leave behind will be filled by those as student leaders today. And that is why I'm asking for a conscious training program for not only us at this level of youth politics. Let us inculcate equally. Let us incorporate the student leaders, because the position you are occupying today will be filled by those who are presently occupying the position of student leaders in this state. And that is why I'm saying all this to say that this engagement is very, very productive. This engagement is very commendable, because it is a way towards building us to that El Dorado that we seek to attain in the future. Now, we are to discuss on the issue of youth restiveness. Of course, our patriotic contributions to the growth and development of Akwa Ibom State through effective legislation, oversight, and enlightenment on political matters are indicators that we indeed patriotically represent the interests of the masses. I wish to reassure Akwa Ibom people that we will never renege on our responsibility. And what are we engaging ourselves today on? Youth and restiveness. The way forward, what roles can citizenship and leadership training play in curbing the hyper-headed menace of youth restiveness? What roles can individuals, governments, and organizations play in curbing the great challenge? This seminar is expected to give suggestions and possible answers to these questions. It will also expose participants to the realities, issues, opportunities, and prospects for the emancipation and fuller utilization of youth potentials and their integration into nation building. The issue is not a blame game of who is right or wrong, but what can be done collaboratively to change the narrative. I believe that citizenship and leadership training can be a catalyst for checkmating youth restiveness and giving the youth opportunities to redirect their talent, energy, and focus in exploring profitable alternatives to meaningful living. And you cannot talk about meaningful living if you don't have development. You cannot talk about development in an economy as good as ours, that we have not been given the opportunity to retain what we produce if you don't talk about fairness and equity. I'm saying all this, that what will make for peace, what will make for youth peace, and peace in the country, peace in the state, is for equity and justice. And why do I say so? One clear example again. Federal government had budgeted money and had gone on radio and television to talk about Ogoni cleanup. Today, I don't know what has been heard of Ogoni cleanup. The $1 billion has been taken from SS School account. We are not saying it shouldn't be taken. Our brothers deserve that rehabilitation. We are saying, give the same to us. Again, if while oil was, because without development, without these finances, we will not be able to develop ourselves. And without development, we will continue to have this pocket of little issues that we are having. If while oil was at $30 per barrel, or 45, and then we were sharing from the Federation account the sum of about 500 billion naira monthly, or about 400 billion naira monthly, and oil has risen from that 30 to 40 to 50 to 60, and we are still sharing the same sum that we're sharing. And there is nothing that has affected production. We are still producing about 2.3 billion barrels per day. No force majeure has affected production. Why are we having still the same money to share as if when oil was $30 per barrel? Then there's something wrong. We have been denied our due. Let all the accruals be paid into Federation account, and it should be shared accordingly, so that we can develop our country, we can develop our state, develop our local government, develop our coastal area with them, that we can now ensure lasting peace and stability for all and for the entire country. The United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization identifies goals of youth empowerment to include nurturing youth values, ideals and skills through positive sense of self-assertion, self-reliance, purposeful engagement, decision-making skills, moral system belief, and pro-social connectiveness. And it pleases me at this juncture to say that this was the inspiration behind the Akwa Ibom Legislative Internship Program actually initiative, which is an initiative of the legislature in trying to use citizenship and leadership training to be able to get our youth to be peaceful. It is a prototype of youth training mechanism designed to give the youth broad platforms for participatory discourses, knowledge sharing, and skill development across the legislative and associated disciplines. The program focuses on legislative practices, entrepreneurship, community development, volunteerism, and peace building and conflict resolution. Whatever recommendations this workshop shall make, it is my personal opinion that good governance and transparency, functional policies, creation of employment opportunities, definite and realizable goals, youth inclusiveness, and robust signage amongst whatever stakeholders can be panaceas for youth restiveness in this country. And on this basis, I am speaking concerning those of us in public service. For those I have enumerated, it is our responsibility in government to make sure that we get this to be in place, to include you in the scheme of things, and to ensure accountability. And I want to charge you today, even as I am your representative inside government, please don't allow familiarity to make you not ask me to account. I ask you to demand accountability from me as your representative inside government, demand accountability from every one of us, from the president to the governor to the members of the House of Assembly to the National Assembly members. That is the only way that you can get your due.
I'm therefore grateful to the organizers of this workshop who have invited me to be part of this important gathering to deal with the serious national malaise of violence and cultism. These twin evils, which have largely affected national development, are inflicting untold hardship on our country. If they are not checked, our economy, our social and everything that has to do with development may be truncated, rather will be truncated. For no nation can ever develop when violence remains unabated. A little bit of history. In 1953, a group of brilliant Nigerian students at the University College of Ibadan, which was then a campus of the prestigious University of London, founded a group known as the Pirate Confraternity. The leading members of the confraternity included our laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, Ike Imokwedo, Ralph Opara, Prof. Muyiwa Awe, some of whom I work very closely with. These young Nigerians, as you are all aware, grew up to become leading lights of this nation, just as I pray that all of you will grow to be leading lights in Nigeria. The intention of the founders of the Pirates Confraternity, I must hasten to state, was indeed altruistic. It was never operated as a secret cult. Its agenda did not include creating violence and disruptive activities such as maiming and killing. Rather, it was an agglomeration of an exclusive group of intelligent and highly disciplined students just like you, who were politically conscious of the prevailing mood of the nation as it was marching towards independence. The main objective was to help in igniting a radical nationalistic passion by raising political awareness, just as you are doing, as well as the need to put an end to tribalism while discouraging elitism and white supremacy. Expectedly, the activism became the major plank in launching a timely response to the prevailing political temperament of the times. Interestingly, the inability of several intending students to meet with the high benchmarks of the pirates' confraternity imperceptibly culminated in the festering and proliferation of emergent groups with a more solid bent. We have since kept account of the number of radical cult groups and their splinter factions operating in Nigerian tertiary institutions, post-primary schools, and in almost every community of the country, including our state. From the founding of an altruistic group in 1953, the nation has today witnessed a succession of hundreds of emerging cult groups whose sole motivation is the promotion of violence, brigandry, kidnapping, wanton destruction of lives and property, stealing, extortion, and the advancement of narrow political and selfish economic interests. Given the unfortunate perception of politics in Nigeria as the shortest route to wealth, the use of violence as a means of a political end has given rise to violence, and the use of youth restiveness as a political weapon. It is more worrisome to also note that these activities have trickled down to the primary schools, where children have been manipulated and initiated into various violent secret groups with a strong bias on demonic and occultic orientation, thus culminating in debasing the moral values of such children. The resultant effect of all this is the fact that children of such backgrounds and orientation grow up into potential threats to the peace and development of the society. The time has come for an effective collaboration between the nation's legislature, the law enforcement agencies, and the management of educational institutions, as well as the management of youth groups in the country, who are the organizers of this workshop, to brainstorm and find a permanent solution to the problems of cultism and youth restiveness in our society. The keynote address of Mr. Speaker is very instructive, and I join you to look at it very closely. We may find some solutions. That the major participation at this workshop are mainly the youth is apt. They must be told that it is not in their interest or in the overall interest of the nation, which they are expected to be the leaders tomorrow, to allow themselves to be used by anybody to ruin our collective patrimony. Let me therefore take this opportunity to thank and commend the youths, all members of the security agencies operating in our state, for their resilience and cooperation, hard work in the face of difficult situations in ensuring relative peace in Akwa Ibom state. This state is reckoned to be one of the most peaceful states in this country, probably due to what the speaker has said and due to the resilience of our security operatives. That some of the heads of our security agencies operating in the state have been invited to participate and indeed speak in this workshop gives me hope that we are on the right course. In this direction, I want to assure you that the Akwa Ibom State government under the leadership of Governor Udomi Manuel will continue painstakingly to partner with the necessary stakeholders within the academic, law enforcement agencies, the legislature, the youths, and all and sundry towards ensuring that our society is rid of all cult-related activities and youth restiveness. Of course, no society can develop without a peaceful environment. And I hope that the workshop will come up with workable suggestions and ideas that will help the state successfully deal with cultism, youth restiveness, and violence. On behalf of the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udomi Manuel, I am happy to declare this important workshop formally open.
Just to give a word of advice to the youth of Akwa Ibom State, that in everything you do, you must always be honest and you must show some level of humility. A humble person can take over this house without anybody.
The emerging trends of cult group amongst young people, especially within the four walls of our education institution, is alarming. Tertiary institutions are not alone in the unholy association. The rate at which secondary schools and even primary schools are getting involved in cultism is increasing at an alarming rate. The recent destructive activities are mind-boggling, irritating, and distasteful. Today, there are about 45 secret courses in Nigerian institutions of learning and are all equipped with an elaborate hierarchy, insignia, and distinct attire. In essence, what we are saying is that the parents, the school, the church, and the government have a role to play in curbing this menace of cultism in our society.
When these your energies are being diverted to negative venture, negative tendencies, it becomes very destructive for our nation. And when this happens, it affects the economic development. It also affects the education. People will not be able to go to school. It also affects the social life of our people. For some of you that want to go out in the evening to unwind, when there is chaos in the society, you will be unable to do so.
You can't build something on nothing. If your mind is not liberated through good education, chances are that you will end up as a cultist.
We should work together. Our targets and aspirations can be diverse, but let's work together. Together we stand, divided we fall. Together we can bring down a common enemy faster than if we are scattered.
I am disturbed in all the beautiful papers presentations, in all the seminars across the length and breadth of Nigeria, in all the beautiful talks. I am waiting for that day that Nigeria will move away from talking to the implementation. That is my prayer.
So what if the victims happen to revenge? Don't you think the whole village will completely be destroyed? So I want to be guided.
The government should do what they have to do so that the youth will have what they got to have.
I must tell the chairman committee on youth also, please, next time you're calling up this meeting, invite elders to come and also sit down there so that we can look at their face and tell them the hard truth.
Contributions that have been made by participants will be put into consideration and will also be implemented. Especially the one that is said, let there be a quarterly interactive section. The youth. Honestly, that will be #1 priority.